small moments, Robin, even when things had been pulled back, 4 overs, 42 needed, there was an over from Matt Henry that you felt that you had to target somebody with Bolt still to come. Perhaps it just didn't go hard enough.
Well, you can say that, but when you look at,
I know we'll be nitpicking here.
Yeah, but you are nitpicking, and if you're going to nitpick, then there are far greater topics to actually pick on than those last 4 overs. We had no business to be in that kind of a situation, given the start that we had. So there's no point talking about nitpicking the last 4 overs. It would be unfair to everyone involved.
Fair enough.
Because it was Jadeja's brilliance and Dhoni's patience that actually created that kind of atmosphere. Had we had more batsmen down below those guys, or had someone else come on top of the order instead of somebody else at number 4 or 5 or whatever, this situation would have been a lot less challenging in the last 4 or 5 overs. Because when you have someone of Dhoni's caliber coming in at number 6, I think you're making
today's 7.
Yeah, at today's 7. Yeah. I think he's a man who's been there in the scene, who's played the most number of one-day internationals, I think after Sachin Tendulkar for India. And in a situation like this in a World Cup semi-final, when you need to thrust him out into a pressure situation, you're holding him back, and that doesn't augur well for the team, because you know that he's your last straw, and if he falls, everything falls along with that. And that is exactly what happened today. When he was there, everything was going well. And then when he fell, everything fell in a matter of balls, to be very honest. So he knows that his role, and he's done this, and people don't understand this, but he knows that he's done this for the last 4 or 5 years, where he takes it down to the last 2 overs and then he plays the way he has to play, because he's put into a situation where he's forced to do that. Now you move him up to a situation where he's got more control of a game, then, and there are batsmen to follow, he'll have the freedom to take a little more control, to play a little more aggressively, to control the situation a little bit more. Maybe he'll play the same way, but what it will do is give you freedom to the other batsmen around him, revolving around him, will actually give you freedom to actually go and express yourself exactly how Jadeja did today. I think if you're going to nitpick on something, that's the thing that we should be nitpicking on. The last 4 overs, 40 runs, I don't think that's even a point of contention.
Point taken. I'm going to go further on that point, and I think it's something we're not looking in hindsight. When we were watching the game, India 3 down, we're thinking perfect time for Dhoni to come out, doesn't come out. 4 down, doesn't come out. 5 down, he comes out. Should he have come earlier? Simple as that.
Well, I mean, look, what was India's best chance in terms of scenarios when they are 3 down as early as possible? That is something which the debate was going on leading up to the World Cup. So I think when there is a thought process involved, right, and maybe the thought process was to counter and get your power hitters or people or players who can play freely without really thinking too much about the situation, knowing that MS is still to bat. So there are 2 ways of looking at it, and you just got to back the team management who's taking that call at that stage, because they are feeling the game. They are understanding of the situation what they are in, and according to them, I felt the best chance was to get Rishabh Pant batting freely, get Hardik batting freely, and to be fair, Dinesh Karthik did look good till the time he was there. He was looking to soak in that pressure. It's just that maybe lapse in concentration which cost his wicket, and a brilliant catch to support. I think what was important and what was great to see was the kind of energy which New Zealand went in the game with. And why did that happen? It happened because of the top order tumble, and that is something which just lifted the spirits, and that's something which we've seen so often in cricket. Imagine that first platform, if that first partnership had come early, then New Zealand is on the back foot
and they'd be flat.
And yes, exactly. So that's how the game goes. I think the game moves in that fashion. When you have 3 early wickets, then obviously any bowling lineup will be upbeat. You've seen some brilliant fielding efforts. The energy was lifted suddenly, and you have to give credit to Kane Williamson. I mean, how often in a one-day cricket you see there is no third man? He approached the game in that fashion. He knew the New Zealand's best chance is to pick those early wickets, and he communicated that kind of words to the bowlers. The mindset of the bowlers was to pick wickets early on, and today they got it. If they had not got it, situation would have been completely different. But I think it's you have to give credit to New Zealand as well in terms of creating that energy on the field, having that belief that okay, this Indian batting order, if we get those early wickets, we can squeeze them in, we can build pressure, and they did exactly that. If you look at the first spell as well, Trent bowled and
Henry in particular
bowled about 12 overs together. So that is not something which he had gone in as a plan.
Yeah.
It just happened that way. He had no third man. When Dinesh Karthik was also batting till about first 10 overs, he brought in catching fielders. He squeezed the runs dry completely, and that built pressure. So that is something which was always going to be the case. And first 20 overs, till the time that seam of the ball is nice and prominent, is the most toughest time to face. What happened today was your batsmen were exposed. The middle order was exposed to that phase of the game, which was hard to deal with.